Good morning everybody, Alex Starcraft here, bringing you guys another Starcraft 2 commentary and still trying to get used to this whole Starcraft 2 casting thing. Now, as many of you know, I just started casting about a few weeks ago, because it's something I've actually wanted to do for quite a while. I watch a lot of Starcraft, and I also play as much as I can. I am currently a full-time student, so I don't have that much time, but I try and play as much as I possibly can. And you see, I've basically just been taking the replays that I got from MLG, which I was watching very avidly, the MLG Providence. And I've just kind of been casting those. I got to see some of these live, so that was pretty cool. But none of the ones I'm casting, I should say, so I won't have any spoilers. Now, this one is one I'm particularly interested to see. As you guys can see, it is going to be between vileSpanishiwa, the blue Zerg in the top right corner, and LiquidTLO, or the little one, the red Zerg in the top left corner. Now, just like my last cast, this map is going to be Shakuras Plateau. I know, very unfortunate. Similar maps, nothing fancy, none of the cool Korean maps yet. But I think this matchup is probably going to be one of the better Zerg versus Zergs, or I should say the more interesting ones, because both of these players have very interesting, very unique playstyles. Obviously, Spanishiwa has made quite a splash on the scene since he first appeared. He's only about 18. I think he's actually studying computer science at some college in California. He's a freshman, so he's quite young. The little one has been around for a while, but he used to play random, then he switched to Zerg, then to Terran, and recently he switched back to Zerg. So he's a very interesting player. He's got some very unique perspective. Now, we've got this weird little drone making a strange route, and it looks like, I hope Spanishiwa fixes that, otherwise he's gonna have way less gas than he should. But anyway, no, still nothing. But anyway, we do have the little one going for a fast expansion. Now, the thing is with the Zerg versus Zerg, you see both opponents have overlords in their bases. So both of them know exactly what the other player is doing. At this point, Spanishiwa knows, okay, the little one went for a hatchery first. And the little one knows, okay, he's going for a speedling opening. So nothing too fancy. But this is one unique thing you see in Zerg versus Zerg. In Terran versus Terran and stuff like that, you don't really have that mutual agreement, you could say, especially on the smaller maps in Zerg versus Zerg, when players will be going and they have the overlords in each other's base, and so they both go the exact same build because they know exactly what the other players are going to be going. Now, we do have some Zerglings coming out from Spanishiwa, but it looks like the little one will be able to defend that fine. The Spinecrawler might be done by the time the Zerglings get there. Probably not, but I'm not sure if the Zerglings will be able to focus it down in time. But he actually does have 2 more Zerglings on the way. I should probably open the production tab. I feel like that might help. The little one does have 6 Zerglings of himself on the way, so these Zerglings are not going to be able to do anything, especially with these superior number of Zerglings out. Now, the one difference here, Spanishiwa, he does have his own expansion on the way, but he also has Zergling speed on the way. It puts him a little bit ahead in the tech, because you see the little one is only just now starting to get his gas, and he's also throwing down 2 spine crawlers. He's actually a fair amount worried about some big Zergling aggression, which is something Spanishiwa could definitely do. I've seen him. He's definitely capable of doing a lot of Zergling aggression, a lot of big aggression in all the matchups, but he's known more to be a macro player. He's making 5 drones and just getting a Baneling nest, and this will really make it so all these Zerglings that the little one is getting might be, or will be, completely ineffective. Of course, the Spine Crawlers can be quite good against the Banelings, but the little one is actually doing something I really like to do in the Zerg versus Zerg matchup. He's walling off with Queens. The Zergling might be able, yes, they are able to snipe 1 drone, and so they're actually 1 drone at the cost of 2 Zerglings. So actually, even now, he does manage to get a drone up, or a Zergling up into the main. He's getting to scout everything. He sees the Baneling nest, but once again, Spanishiwa is just in that situation. He is a little bit ahead on economy. His expansion just finished, and he's just as many workers, but he also is a bit higher tech. He may have a bit more units on the map. No, because he lost some Zerglings, but he's making some Banelings, and of course, 2 Banelings can kill 8 Zerglings very easily. So right now it's a fairly even game. I would say Spanishiwa is a little bit ahead simply because of the fact that Spanishiwa had a few more workers and his expansion was up while it was up later, the little one didn't really get to do anything with his because Spanishiwa was putting on so much pressure. So right now, both players are just kind of droning up. You see, they have overlords all over the place. So that's another cool thing about Zerg versus Zerg. They see if an opponent moves out, like this Zergling here, if he was sending it out, he'd see it the entire way to his base, and he'd have plenty of time to react. So right now, it's interesting to see what Spanishiwa might be doing. He actually has quite a few minerals coming down. He's not getting a lair. He's getting an evolution chamber. But he's actually getting quite a lot. I'm interested to see what he's going to be doing here. I'd imagine, I guess he's going to be getting a upgrade. And I'd hope he... Okay, here comes the rest of his gas. This is definitely good because he seems to have almost too many. Notice here. Now we're going to have a little skirmish here. These Zerglings are going to have to run. Now what he's probably going to do is see if he can pick off any of these banelings. Now the little one being very smart, he pulls the banelings back because he knows he has speed. Spanishiwa has speed. He does not. We do have the 2 defensive banelings here. So if Spanishiwa plays this right, these units will not be able to do any damage. They do have the Zerglings heading back out. They're going to see if they can pick off any of the banelings. See if they can trigger any hits. That might just get 1 or 2 of them. They're just pulling them back to divert. And at the same time, it seems like he's going to be trying to transition into roach play. While the little one actually is a fairly early lair coming out. Or early lair considering this situation. Much earlier than Spanishiwa for sure. We just have a little Zergling Baneling skirmish. Ooh, one Baneling. Ooh, pretty big Baneling hit right there. Killing off about 5 Zerglings. Another Baneling hit killing another 5 Zerglings. So this is definitely good for Spanishiwa. And the Banelings just trade right there. And he's actually going to pick off 1 Baneling. So he might be able to pick off the other. With proper control, he'll be completely fine as long as he doesn't let this Baneling get a big hit off. No, he should be fine. He should be able to pick that off. Yeah, it doesn't get into the mineral line. These Zerglings running around, they're actually just going to be running and doing a little scouting, but they end up getting, unfortunately, killed by the Queen. Now, just a lot of Zergling, Baneling, micro going on here, but we have the 11 roaches and the roach speed and +1 attack from Spanishiwa, and we have a Spire coming out of the little one. Now he actually is going to be scouting this expansion right now, and so Spanishiwa knows that, oh, his hatchery's a little earlier than mine, but he's going to be able to force the cancel on it. These Zerglings are not going to get in there in time, and he picks off the drone. At the same time, he has his own third coming. Now the nice thing, Mulisks and Roaches are kind of the 2 opposing things. Ooh, pretty big Baneling hits there. But Roaches and Zerglings are kind of the 2 opposing routes you can go in Zerg versus Zerg. If you go for the Roaches, you have more power. You can almost directly attack, especially because with that armor, Mulisks do a lot less against the Roaches than they do against all the other units. But the thing is, the Mulisks, they give you map control. So it'll be very interesting to see how this plays out, which player ends up doing better with it. And you can see Spanishiwa's inject slipping a little bit because of all this micro, but he actually has to push the Roaches out very quickly if he has any hope to save this third, and I actually don't think he's going to be able to. He's going to lose the third, but at the same time, he's actually, I think, going to be pushing out with his Roaches, and yes, he is going to have to cancel the third, and I'm sure he will. There it is. He's pushing out with these 11 Roaches. Now, we do have 8 Mulisks on the way, a few others just finished. But these should actually be able to repel the Roaches, because even though there's not a whole lot of them, eventually they will be able to kill them. But we'll have to see if Spanishiwa will be able to get any drone kills beforehand. It actually looks like he is going to be able to. He doesn't have a whole lot of units. You see, the little one is actually pulling his drones. Because you see, these Mulisks, even though he's a bunch of them, they are doing nothing against these Roaches. Spanishiwa is just going ahead, getting some good positioning on the Roaches. It looks like there's just too many Zerglings, and with the Spine Crawlers and Mulisks, they're just going to be dying too quickly. And so he looks like he killed about 4 workers there, which is okay, but it's not great considering his third base got delayed. They are actually completely identical on workers. But Spanishiwa doesn't have really an answer for this. He actually does have 8 Hydralisks on the way, and the Hydralisks can be good, but that's still not quite enough to kill these 10 Mulisks. Now, he also does have this Queen. He has a Spore Crawler. So he should be okay here at the front. Now, the little one, this is why I was talking about the map control. He's picking off the Overlords, which is obviously very annoying for Spanishiwa. It's forcing him to become supply blocked and force more Overlords, which also makes it so he does not have as many larvae, can't make as many other units. But it's also making it so he doesn't have that map control. So if all of a sudden the little one decided to transition into Roaches and just attack, SpanishiWa would have no idea because he doesn't have that map control anymore. He doesn't have that presence. Now the Mulas are just going around seeing what they can do, but the Hydralisks are actually pretty out of position. The problem with the Hydralisks is they're actually kind of hard to defend with because they're so slow off of creep. Now the little one is getting, SpanishiWa is getting exactly the response I would expect to the Mulas. He's getting an infestation pit, which is actually definitely one of the better options, because if you can get one fungal on those Mulas and hold them down, that not only might allow your Hydras to get it, might kill a few, it weakens them all up, and it scares the Mutalisk player. Because he knows, oh, if I mess up this control for 1 second, I could lose every single Mutalisk for the cost of just a few energy. So SpanishiWa has the pathogen guns coming on the way right now. And it seems like he is probably a little bit behind in this game. You can see he is very far behind on the supply. He is about 10 behind on the workers, with the later third base. Now, so these Mulas are running in, they're going to get about 3 drone kills. So should probably, actually no, they're not going to get the baning. SpanishiWa actually making very good use of the burrow. Whenever the Mulas are attacking him, he just burrows the units and then waits for them to go away. Now he's actually going to be pushing out with these few Zerglings, see if he can get any work done. Now this might be more for scouting, but the little one has a whole lot of roaches and Zerglings moving in. This actually could be bad news for SpanishiWa. Now SpanishiWa does have some roaches of his own, he has some banelings of his own, and he has some Hydralisks. So it'll really just come down to whether the Hydralisk can have good enough positioning and whether SpanishiWa can get these infestors out in time. Now he needs about 25 more seconds, so this could be very bad. But if he can wait, ooh, some good baneling hits right there. But if he can wait, if he can get these infestors out in time, it looks like he will indeed be able to. If he can fungal these and use the Hydralisk extra range to his advantage, he might have a chance, but he has to pull back right now. The little one is a much bigger army. He just needs to get some good fungals. Oh, come on. So crucial right here that he gets it, but he actually is very poor positioning on the ramp, letting the little one completely get the concave. He does have the one infestor getting the one fungal. It's probably going to die in a second. But it doesn't look to me like SpanishiWa has enough. He does have slightly better positioning now, so the little one is forced to push back. Just kind of skirmishing back and forth, back and forth. The problem is that the little one has about 22 more drones. Now you see, oh yes, SpanishiWa is producing 12, 13 roaches now, and the little one has 6, but a second ago he had about 14 roaches in there. You see his supply is about 60 ahead, and it looks like he's not going to have enough to actually be able to kill this. This Hydralisks are in a good position, doing some pretty good damage, but I don't think there's going to be enough of them, but there might be. The roaches are doing some good tanking. No, it looks like there's just going to be too many roaches at this point. SpanishiWa isn't going to be able to handle all of it. Of course, you see the little one flying with the little flock of overseers here, making sure that no burrow shenanigans occur. And there's the good game from SpanishiWa. Now, you guys can see exactly what I was talking about, the effect of the Mutalisks right there with the map control. As soon as those Mutalisks were out, sure, SpanishiWa managed to kill about 4 workers, and distract the Mutalisks for a little bit, and he didn't lose that many workers. He did lose apparently 28 in the long run, but he didn't lose that many Mutalisks. He protected pretty well, but then he didn't have as many drones because he was forced to produce more units. He lost this hatchery while this one was completely saturated, and he couldn't see anything coming up here. He couldn't scout tech, so he didn't know there's a tech switch. So that's what happens when someone goes Mutalisks and they manage to do it well. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary, taking on my first Zerg versus Zerg, and I hope all of you have a wonderful day.